I hope not. I mean, this president...
David Ignatius recently came out saying he thinks the former president should not run.
Yeah, so that's one. Be prouder of him. And again, we're very fortunate that he is in that position. But again, age is relative. I was in L.A. For some Democratic stuff recently, and I met with Norman Lear, who's 100, going on 101. He was telling me some new shows he was involved in. I was meeting with Frank Gehry, a 90-something architect, showing me new buildings he's building throughout the world. And they were like, 80, he's a kid. But again, it's relative. He's younger than I am. So I debate with him about legislation and not debate, but discuss it with him. He's right there. So in any case, it was a bad night. Let's not sugarcoat that. It was a bad night. It was a great presidency.
She got the Joe Biden.
Do you have questions as to whether this was a one bad night or whether there is something more serious
Nancy
involved?
look kind of good.
And whether he needs to be more open about his, if he does have a medical condition, if he is slipping, you know, everybody knows there's an age issue, and he certainly did the opposite of reassuring people with that high risk, potentially high reward debate plan that they came up with.
She looked like a lizard with makeup.
Well, you asked me to speak from my experience, and my experience with Joe Biden is that in all the legislation that we passed to save the country with the rescue package, money in people's pockets, shots in their arms, children in school, people back to work, with the child tax credit, with the issues that were in the infrastructure bill, rebuilding the infrastructure of America in a very universal way where people can participate in those decisions. These TRIPS and Science Act to make us self-sufficient in the world, the PACT Act to honor the service of our veterans and help those who may have been affected by burn pits. The list goes on, and then the IRA. So we have all these things that he was masterful in helping to orchestrate, to write, and to pass. So he has a vision, he has knowledge, he has judgment, he has a strategic thinking, and the rest. He has a bad night. Now, again, I think it's a legitimate question to say, is this an episode or is this a condition? And so when people ask that question, it's completely legitimate of both candidates. Because what we saw on the other side was a lying of Justin. You know, I tore up his speech when he lied to the Congress on every single page of his State of the Union. We should be tearing up what he said the other day because it was a pack of lies. And it's very hard to debate somebody when you have to undo or debunk everything they're saying. But again, arguably, I think that both candidates,
your lies?
Oh, whatever
should be in jail.
Test you want to put them to in terms of their mental acuity and their health. Both of them.
But the people are saying that it's just one.
And she was literally about to say, what about Joe's lies?
Well, I got to listen to her. She a liar, too.
The fact that
she's literally an insider trader.
She admitted that Joe, it's a question, or we should have that. She basically just said it's a concern. But for both candidates. But if the people are saying, no, it's just Joe, then you're basically, I ain't going to say she said
70% of Joe Biden's voters said that they don't know if he's ready. If you took that same poll,
how
many of Trump's voters think that he's ready? All of them still. No one thinks.
100%.
The debate.
Nancy Pelosi is an insider trader. Of course she wants Joe Biden to stay in power. She's a Democrat. Democrats make the most money.
Hey, I see why people was really
when their party's in power.
Somebody just posted her stock portfolio today.
You can literally Google politician stocks. There's literally a website called Politician Stock Watch. You can Google it and watch them go up and down.
People not gonna let you out on that.
You know what's crazy, man? Like seeing Nancy, and I remember like during J6 where they had the lynch of her and they was walking into the Capitol. Makes a lot of sense.
I didn't know why they were doing that at first. I said, that is a little extreme.
People don't even care about her like
she
that,
is a problem in our democracy.
She played that.
Definitely. But the fact that she just said it is a question, that's a reasonable question. So you don't know? Y'all haven't seen the scan if Joe was okay? Y'all just saying Joe's going to do it.
They do
That's
know.
just so emotional.
They do know. He fell asleep at the
Only
veterans.
chance of the Democrats
But
winning.
for both candidates, well, the people are only saying this one.
Joe Biden said he could talk to dead people. So is he alive?
Guys, we just have to we have to pay attention to the current state of our nation and what's going on. We got to keep it 100, y'all.
Oh man,
Don't get fooled.
the fact that
Don't be
then she
fooled.
said
Don't
at
fall
the
for
first
these
clip,
narratives.
that was one person that said Joe Biden. The whole United States is saying it.
There's
You and
literally
she
polling
saying it
people.
now.
CNN.
CNN said it. They said, yeah, he should not be up there.
70% of his voters.
Like, it's so bad to the point where after the debate, they on the chalkboard. So we got Gavin right here.
See,
He's
Gavin, he played
five.
quarterback in high school. You know, they try to find a new quarterback. He played quarterback in high school, but he's fast, so we can run the ball with him.
You
So
know,
what we going?
Pete might appeal to these people, so we might put him right here. And we got Carmela, who nobody tends to like. You know, I don't know why. But
You
people
said Carmel.
people-
You talking about
Kamala, I always say her name.
You talking
like
about Caramel?
that. I always say
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, the fact that nobody likes her, and then they're still saying that. Let's throw her out there, and then she says they don't like me because
Bro,
I'm
she
not
couldn't even
white.
she couldn't even make the nomination
it's
to
the
get on the
Democratic
Democratic ticket. That should let you know
Why should
that
she be
she's
up there?
not charismatic and not favorable enough to the party to run for president. And that's why she's so offended that they're not propping her up, even though she's the VP. But ma'am, you were not even an ideal candidate enough to gain votes and donations to make the ticket.
It's because she was black.
I think Nancy just exposed it.
Well,
right
I
here.
ain't gonna lie,
Nancy's-
Brandon kinda
no, shut up, bro.
exposed
But
that
no,
man.
Nancy just exposed it right here because she basically just said none of them know if he's okay.
Obviously.
That's absurd.
Nobody knows if he's okay. Obviously,
That should be a
they've been
question.
saying
We
he's
should be
okay
knowing.
for a year. We know it's cap. We know it's a lie. We know it. And now the lies are unraveling and they're in panic mode. They're in desperation. They're trying to tell you everything that you're seeing and hearing is a lie. Guys, at some point you have to wake up and smell the coffee, y'all. The coffee's piping hot and it's pungent in your face. You have to wake up and smell it.
We can't be Canada. We can't be Canada. We can't be Canada.
We was on the
That's
way.
all that needs to be said, y'all.
It'd be
Mic
worse.
drop.
All right, guys, we gone.